We're going to talk a little bit about the City of Atlanta's pension program. I'm going to lump all of the fire, the police, and the general pension programs all into one with the questions that I'm going to ask.
Okay.
As of the last actuarial report, the City of Atlanta's pension programs totaled about right about $1.3 billion in unfunded liability. Of course, that money comes from the city's budget. What is the plan for actually funding that liability going forward?
What we have to do is to bring in the experts to take a look at it and work with the state and with the other governments in the state. I know the state of Georgia has got pension issues right now. That just has come to light in the past few days. We, at this stage of the game, I do not have the plan. And because I always operate, just as I said, with this chief financial officer, I need to bring in the people that can go through each of the plans and figure out how we address that. So I am the first one to tell you that that would be one of the first things that I will do in my administration. But we need to work with the state government, we need to work with other municipalities and counties, because we've got as you know, we've got an awful lot of governments throughout the entire state of Georgia that have pension challenges. When the city council approved the changes to the pensions, we did that with the understanding that the actuarial studies had been done and it was something that we could do and that we could afford to do. I asked the chief financial officer after we had made those changes, I said, what on earth happened? And she's now gone, but she said, Mary, it was new hires and raises. See, one of the things that happened that was unbeknownst to the council is that the final authority for new hires and raises in the former administration had been taken out of the finance department and put in the human resource department. So there was never a quality control check from the finance department on any raises or any new hires. And that's one of the reasons that the financial situation was so dire. I did not hear that until a deep throat told me last spring. So I was not privy to that information.
Okay. On that note, going forward, because of course other additional pension changes will have to happen
Absolutely.
in order to get this plan better. What is your idea about changing the administration or the term that it takes to actually approve changes in the pension program?
Say that again, please.
The 2004 Pension Committee actually recommended a time frame of 2 years to actually introduce a change to the pension program, research, and then adoption. That allows an organization the opportunity to review the changes prior to actually implementing the changes, which would actually probably have alleviated part of the problems that the City Council approved in 2005. Had they had the opportunity to look at it longer, they would have probably saw the cost that was actually involved in the plan. What do you think about implementing a time frame like that?
Absolutely. We were trying to get it right. And one of the things that the City Council has not had is any type of budget analyst position, fiscal analyst position. So the City Council has literally been functioning as, and I say this all the time, a de facto customer service department. So council has not had the type of access to the financial advisors. For example, I've seen the financial advisors twice in 7 years. So if you are over on the council side and you're not one of the administration's favorites, you don't have much access to the advice that's being given and to be able to interact. I intend to make that better because as mayor, I have been on the other side of the aisle. I will be interacting with all 15 council members, not just my favorites. It is important in a city that we do that.
Okay. As mayor, the new mayor will actually be adopting or bringing in that $1 billion deficit, okay,
Right.
Unfunded liability. That has to come out of the budget. And it actually, based on an ordinance in the city, it has to be fully funded by the year 2024. First part of the question, do you think the city can actually fund that plan fully by 2024? And if not, what does that mean for the employees who are currently in the plan or coming into the plan? And what does that mean for citizens?
Well, one of the things that we have to take care of our employees. There are huge morale issues at the city. So I'm absolutely determined and to take care of the employees. When we did away with Social Security our employees do not pay into Social Security. So we have employees, the last information I was able to get on the salary levels was several years ago, because again, council has not been able to get any financial information for a while. So the last information that I got, over half the employees made less than $42,000 a year. So they are not at the point where they can save lots of money. So it's critical for us to look at what is that payout for them and what should that be going forward. So what I would do is exactly what I've done in the sewer project that I was involved in and in the zoning issues that I've been involved in, and I would like for you to head up a task force to help me.
No problem. Let's see, in 2005, the City Council actually did a change for the vesting for employees from 15 years to 10 years, also changed the multiplier. Do you think the city is going to be able to honor that going forward, or do you think there's going to have to be an immediate change in order to, again, accommodate the deficit in the pension program?
Marion, I think someone needs to run those numbers for me. You know, I don't have a flow chart up here to tell me that, so I need to take a look at that.
Okay.
But I am determined to keep the city solvent and also to take care of our employees. And whether that is a one-time sale of assets, whether that is, you know, whatever that needs to be. We have got tremendous liabilities at the city, and not the pension is a huge one, but we also have encumbrances on that general fund, debt service on the general fund that has that I have numbers on that really compromises our ability to deliver city services. Between pension and OPED and debt service from the old certificates of participation. I mean, we have a lot of sins of our fathers that we are now going to have to rectify.
Okay. And on that note, the fact that the city today is actually contributing a very small amount compared to what they owe in the pension program, every year they're contributing a small amount. Do you see that increasing, because you only have 15 years to fully fund the account? Do you see that amount increasing? And if so, does that take away from other city services, or does that automatically mean an increase in some type of tax?
Well, I think we have to look at growing the city, which needs to be done, collecting fines and fees, and there's a lot of money out there that we are not collecting because the structures and the systems are not in place. So, and we need to grow the city. I have been a strong supporter of no new taxes. Everyone knows that. And that goes all the way back. That goes back to the big rise in property taxes back in the 90s. So I'm not someone who will say, well, clearly we're going to have to raise taxes. I believe that we need to right size and right position the city. I asked a year ago when this debacle first appeared to the council that we have the functionality of each employee. I didn't care what your job title was. I want to know what you did. And I have been the one, a council member who has clamored for organizational charts so I could know who was where. I've run a broadcasting company. I've run my own company. I have run several nonprofits, and I have done several startup grassroots organizations. I have never seen the lack of information and lack of information that is understandable. The Pension Technical Advisory Committee report that the council was given in 2005 is this thick. And what the chief financial officer who's been helping me said, he said, Mary, they're feeding you information with a fire hose. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that a mayor needs to do is to take very complex information and data and get it to soundbite form and communicate it to the citizens. So the citizens feel like they have the facts, and we restore the citizens' trust in the transparency of the financial systems.
Okay. And before time runs out, I wanted to ask you a question about law enforcement. Is there anything special you would do for law enforcement as it relates to pensions?
There are other issues that I have been looking at for law enforcement. I have not addressed whether or not pension needs to be treated differently. I think we've got to look at all of our pension plans and figure out what is appropriate. The whole compensation issue of benefits, health insurance, vacation time, all of that has to be increments. All of that has to be looked at holistically.